Welcome back to the Vile Echoes, where the spirits of All Hallows Eve whisper tales that chill the soul. Tonight, we delve into Halloween nightmares that will make you cancel trick-or-treating forever. 4 creepy confessions from Reddit's shadowed corners, where festive nights turn into nightmares that cling like cobwebs. These stories of silent stalkers, poisoned potions, mysterious invitations, and cursed rides will make you rethink the tricks behind the treats. Dim the lights. Lock the doors. The vile echoes of Halloween are rising. Our first vile echo brews from a school fair gone wrong, where a seemingly harmless punch hides a deadly secret. Brace yourself for the witch's brew at the school fair. Halloween fairs were legendary in my elementary school in Vermont. I was 10 at the time. I couldn't wait for the booths, games, and especially the witch's brew punch from Mrs. Harlan, the lunch lady who always dressed as a hag. The fair was in the gym, bobbing for apples, haunted house setup, kids in costumes running wild. My brother Tim, 12, and I went as superheroes, capes flapping. Mrs. Harlan's booth was the hit. A cauldron of green punch with floating eyeballs, grapes, and smoke from dry ice. 1 sip for courage, she'd cackle, ladling it into cups. Tim drank first, said it tasted fizzy and sweet. I took mine, bitter under the sugar, but I finished it to look tough. Soon, kids were lining up, giggling as they drank. Halfway through, Tim clutched his stomach. "Feels like bugs inside," he whispered. I laughed, but then my vision blurred, colors twisting. Other kids started acting strange, some laughing maniacally, others crying. One girl scratching at her skin like it was crawling. The teachers thought it was a prank, but when a boy collapsed, foaming at the mouth, chaos erupted. Ambulances came. Turns out Mrs. Harlan had spiked the brew with hallucinogens and poison to teach the little demons a lesson. She vanished during the panic. Police found her diary in the kitchen. Rants about kids being spawn of evil, and recipes for purifying potions from old books. Tim and I hallucinated for a few days, shadows whispering our sins, faces melting in mirrors. 5 kids were taken to the hospital that night. The school closed the fair forever. Mrs. Harlan was never found, but every Halloween I taste that bitterness in my throat, like she's still brewing. Don't trust the treats. Some witches are real. A poisoned brew is terrifying, but an invitation to the unknown can lead to even darker places. Our next confession pulls you into a party where the masks hide more than faces. I was 15 when Halloween became a nightmare. In our small Arizona town, parties were the big thing. Everyone dressed up, blasting music till dawn. My best friend Riley found this invite on his locker. A black card with gold lettering for a masquerade of shadows at an old mansion on the outskirts. No RSVP, just come if you dare. We thought it was from some rich kid at school throwing a secret bash. Riley, me, and our friend Zoe geared up. I went as a vampire hunter, Riley as a zombie, Zoe as a witch. The mansion was creepy from afar. Overgrown vines, flickering candles in windows. No cars parked outside. We knocked and the door creaked open on its own. Inside, the place was decked out. Cobwebs, red lights, a punch bowl bubbling with dry ice. About 20 teens were there, masks hiding their faces, dancing to eerie music. A tall figure in a phantom mask welcomed us. "Drink up. The night's young," he said, voice muffled. We mingled, but something felt off. The masks didn't come off, and the conversations were weird. People asking personal questions like, "What's your biggest fear?" or "Who would miss you if you vanished?" The punch tasted sweet but left a bitter aftertaste. Zoe started feeling dizzy, and when she went to the bathroom, she didn't come back for a while. Riley and I searched, calling her name. In a back room, we found her slumped against the wall, mask forced over her face, eyes wide but unresponsive. Panic hit. The music stopped, and the guests turned, their masks now looking like real faces, pale, with stitched smiles. The phantom laughed. "You came to the masquerade. Now you stay." We fought our way out, but Riley got grabbed, his screams echoing as they dragged him into the basement. I escaped, flagged down a car, and called the cops. When they arrived, the mansion was empty. No party, no people, just dust and an old invitation on the floor. "Thanks for the faces." Investigation revealed the house had been abandoned since a cult vanished there in the 80s, using Halloween to collect victims for rituals. Zoe survived but never spoke again. Riley? Gone. I burn any invite I get now. Halloween parties? They're masks for something darker. Masks that trap are horrifying, but a silent stalker in the festivities can turn joy into pure terror. Listen closely to this tale of a clown who never speaks, but always watches. Halloween was my favorite holiday growing up. I was 12, living in a cozy neighborhood in New Jersey, where every house went all out with decorations. Giant inflatables, laser lights projecting ghosts on walls, and speakers blasting spooky sounds. My sister, Ava, who was 10, and I would compete to see who could get the most candy. That year, I dressed as a mad scientist with a lab coat splattered in fake blood, and Ava was a fairy princess with wings that lit up. Mom made us promise to stick together and be home by 9 p.m. The night kicked off awesome. We joined a group of kids from school, running from door to door, bags filling up fast. The air smelled like bonfires and chocolate. Around 8 p.m., we hit the main street where a block party was happening. Music, games, even a costume contest. That's when I first noticed the clown. He was tall, in a baggy suit with red pom-poms and a white face paint that looked too realistic, veins showing through the makeup. He wasn't laughing or handing out candy. He just stood in the crowd, staring at us kids with black painted eyes that didn't blink. We brushed it off. Lots of creepy costumes that night. But as we moved to the next street, I saw him again, weaving through the groups, always a few feet behind. "Ava, that clown is following us," I whispered. She giggled, probably just part of the fun. But when we stopped at a house for photos, he got closer, holding out a balloon animal shaped like a twisted snake. "For the little scientist," he said in a raspy voice that sent shivers down my spine. I took it politely, but it felt cold, like it was made of something slimy. We hurried away, but he kept appearing, at the end of lines, behind trees. His footsteps were silent, no bells on his shoes like normal clowns. By 8:45, the group split up, and it was just me and Ava. The streets got quieter, and there he was, blocking our path home. "Time for a trick," he growled, pulling out a small knife from his sleeve, the blade glinting under the streetlight. We screamed and ran into a neighbor's yard, banging on their door until they let us in. Police came, but the clown was gone, except for the balloon animal left on their porch, now deflated and leaking a red liquid that wasn't paint. They never caught him. Turns out similar clowns had been reported in nearby towns, luring kids with tricks that ended in abductions. Ava and I stopped trick-or-treating after that. Every Halloween I check the crowds, and sometimes I swear I see that unblinking stare in the shadows, waiting for the next fun. A silent pursuer is enough to ruin the night, but a hayride into the abyss can drag you to places from which there's no return. Our final confession rolls into the darkness of the unknown. Halloween was my jam when I was 14. Living in a small town in Indiana, there wasn't much else to do. So my friends and I would hit every event. Pumpkin patches, corn mazes, you name it. That year, my buddy Tyler found a flyer for a secret haunted hayride out in the countryside. It promised real scares and no actors, just the unknown. Sounded epic, and it was only $5 a person. We convinced our parents it was legit and piled into Tyler's older brother's truck. The directions led us down dirt roads, past abandoned barns and foggy fields. We got there around dusk. The entrance was a rickety gate with a sign that said, "Enter if you dare." A guy in a flannel shirt and overalls took our money. Looked like a farmer, with a beard and weathered skin. "Hop on the wagon," he grunted. The hayride was pulled by an old tractor, and there were about 10 of us total, mostly teens from nearby towns. It started normal, bouncing through the woods, fake ghosts hanging from trees, speakers playing creepy sounds. But then the tractor stopped in a clearing, and the driver said, "Time for the real fun. Follow the path if you want the full experience." He pointed to a trail lit by jack-o'-lanterns. My friends laughed, thinking it was part of the act. We jumped off and started walking. The path wound deeper into the woods. No more props, just silence broken by occasional rustles. Then we heard whispering, faint voices saying our names. "How do they know us?" my friend Sarah asked. I shrugged, but my stomach nodded. Up ahead, we saw figures in the trees, not moving, just watching. One stepped out, a woman in a white dress, face pale, eyes hollow. She reached out and we bolted back. The tractor was gone. No wagon. No driver. Phones had no signal. Panic set in as the whispers got louder, circling us. We ran through the woods, branches scratching like claws. Finally, we hit a road and flagged down a car. The driver said, "You kids okay?" That old farm's been closed for years after the accident. Tractor rollover killed a family. Police investigated. Turns out the farmer was a squatter living in the ruins, luring kids for robberies, or worse. They found our wallets in his shack, but he vanished. We got lucky. But I still hear those whispers in my dreams. Never trust a secret Halloween event again. And there you have it. 4 haunting Halloween tales that turn celebration into terror, reminding us that the veil between fun and fear is thinner than we think. If these stories sent shivers down your spine, hit the like and subscribe to the Vile Echoes for more creepy scares, and share your own Halloween horrors in the comments. Until next time, beware the night. The vile echoes of All Hallows' Eve linger long after the candles burn out.